You know what? I hate to say this too. You know how much I hate admitting when I'm wrong.
Sure.
Please, please, please.
It's a grower. I'm sorry. I knew this would happen to you. You were a fool.
Girl,
you
it's
were
a
a
fucking
fool.
bop. I know it's wrong for the music industry to pit women against each other, but if The Boy Is Mine remix is what we get out of it, maybe we can let the patriarchy do its thing. Although, we'll get into it. But this remix with Ariana Grande and Brandy and Monica, I feel like I do not love as much as I did initially.
I think it's okay. Like I'm glad it exists more than
fine.
I'm glad to spin it 100,000 times. You know. That again, I don't of course really stand Ariana Grande, so I'm not like the best critic for this. But yeah,
that's one of your problems.
I just feel like she sings to a vibe as opposed to sings to bring like a full artistry out of a song. This is a problem I have with music in general. I feel like everybody is writing to a specific emotion or a specific playlist that already exists, as opposed to creating art that has a lot of emotions in it. Anyway, sorry. Good singer.
Okay. Great singer.
Yeah.
Good performer.
The gowns. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So first of all, this song was originally a single on Ariana's album Eternal Sunshine, and it's called The Boy Is Mine. I feel like it samples The Boy Is Mine, but I could never really hear the sample in it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it doesn't sound like The Boy Is Mine, which is, of course, one of the great duets of the late 90s, and actually sort of a definitive song for getting me into pop music altogether. It was very in that Natalie Imbruglia torn time where it's both alternative radio and R&B's happening, like the miseducation of Lauryn Hill's about to happen. Just a lot of good mainstream stuff.
The Boy Is Mine, Torn, and also Ray of Light were constantly in rotation on VH1.
I mean, Madonna's outfit in VH1, the flag of VH1 should be the denim coat Madonna is wearing in the Ray of Light video.
But that song, then, of course, Ariana, months later, I thought she'd forgotten about this album, to be honest.
Eternal Sunshine, Temporary Sunshine. Yeah.
Right. Which is weird because I actually really love the album and I've been listening to it quite a bit since it first debuted in March. But she did that thing that all the pop stars have been doing this year where they drop an album and then we don't hear from them ever again.
They're like, I'm actually sick of this. And you've had enough from me.
Remember promoting music? I'm not going to do that. Remember videos? I'm good. Interviews? Maybe with a friend of mine.
Yeah, right. And yes, exactly. I have to know a really cool queer person who will talk to me in Interview Magazine. That's it.
Yeah. But she announced this remix, and it has Brandy and Monica in it. They actually made a little cameo in the first Boy Is Mine video. Mm-hmm. And now they're on a full remix. And I wonder if a remix video is coming or if we just have the remix. But the remix to the song is good. It's nice to hear their voices again. What I really love in the song is the bridge where sort of Brandy and Monica get to let loose themselves and just sort of like come up with their own lyrics and sort of like, I don't get with affairs, like commenting on the whole Boy Is Mine drama, etc. Mm-hmm. But the remix is a lot like the Mariah Carey remix that she released last year to Yes And, where it's just this R&B legend that she's collected who is singing the lyrics that we already have.
Yeah,
so it's not
along.
Really they're not remixes. They're coming across as covers.
Yeah, which reminds me of the Lotto remix of Big Energy that she had Mariah Carey on, where she just is singing Fantasy again. Which is a song I enjoy, but I already knew you were referencing that song on this track, so I don't really need to hear it again here.
It's sort of this dive into nostalgia as a remix, which is so weird to me because I feel like, listen, Mariah Carey originated the remix, okay? Like, Mariah Carey would have a pop song, and she would have whether it's David Morales hopping in and giving you a whole new fucking beat in her re-recording vocals, even if she was giving you like a hip-hop version of it, she would have new vocals as well where she's singing along and sort of like adjusting, how she's supposed to sound to the beat, because she's very, musical in that sense, you know. But I mean, there's this documentary of Mariah working on like Caution, and where she was like trying to figure out like a specific sound to make, etc. And it's just like, it's so interesting when you look at people's versions of, I guess, what their songwriting is.
Yeah.
You know? And like Mariah's songwriting is sort of like, it's a clip of her, I forget the exact song, but clip of her with like a full band, right? And she's creating a song, and she's like humming like and singing like what she needs like each instrument to do to create this sound that's in her head. And I'm like, it's just so fascinating how like some people, you know, like their songwriting is just writing, or they're, you know, strumming on guitar, and hers is sort of, I hear the entire thing in my head, I just need to get these instruments to sound how it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But her remixes, when you got a Mariah Carey remix, like they're completely different. You know,
yeah.
Loverboy, all the remixes are different. Heartbreaker, the remix is different. These remixes, and like you mentioned with Lotto, right? It seems like the whole music industry now is on this thing of, if we're going to give you a remix, and it's a remix that's like sampling an older song, for instance, how about we just sing that older song, because people just want to hear the song, you know? It's like they don't want to even mix it up too much, because then that might stray away from people just being able to absent-mindedly stream this remix over and over.
Yeah, you're right. Or if we sing the original song, then people will also stream that song, which is, I'm sure, a big impetus for why someone like Mariah would participate. Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about the greatest remixes ever, I still think the Morales remixes of the Mariah Carey songs are probably the top of the list. And the reason for that is, one, I mean, she respected the fact that you could basically not just spin off into an entirely new song, but put an entirely different vibe on a pre-existing song. Like, if you listen to Dream Lover, which I was shocked to hear David Morales himself say that he hated the original song and found it to be like too cute and poppy, which kind of makes sense because what he does isn't really pop.
Yeah.
But Mariah always took remixes as an opportunity to do two things. One, make a song way more sexy, or two, way more danceable. And the Morales remix of Dream Lover is still probably my favorite remix of all time. We were talking once about the greatest dance songs ever and how it's hard to justify picking anything else but I Feel Love by Donna Summer as the number one of all time, because it's the rare case of something that feels like such an original and still maintains its power now. It's like the Beatles or something in terms of disco, you know. And I feel like in the remix world, that to me is still the I Feel Love. That is still the beat where it's just, it's 10 minutes long. It takes you on a journey. It reminds you of the original song while also adding this completely like saucy, danceable thing. And she has, of course, tons and tons of amazing remixes. There's the Honey one, My All.
Taste of Honey.
Yes, goes on and on. But that one I always am ready to play again.
If you're talking about like the echelon of the remixes ones, I'm sure you know what the other two are that would compete with that Dream Lover then.
As in, are they not by Mariah Carey?
Not by Mariah Carey. The other two remixes that are the remixes.
I'm going to go with Whitney Houston, Thunderpuss. It's
Absolutely.
Not right, but it's okay. Yes.
And the third?
I feel like this should be obvious to me. What is it?
We don't even listen to the original anymore, to be honest. You only listen to this dance version.
Oh.
It's of that same ilk.
God damn it. Oh, is it Deborah Cox?
Yes. How did you get here?
I'm like,
when's the last time anyone has listened to the original version of How Did You Get Here?
No. I mean, it doesn't. Right, exactly. Also, when that comes on, any pride is suddenly lit. I mean, Deborah Cox, she should pop up like the goddamn wizard wherever she goes, or Slugworth or whatever. I want to say also, so I mean, I kind of feel that way about It's Not Right, But It's Okay. The original version of the song is okay, but it's not right, but it's okay. I mean, it's a loungy version of the song, but then once you hear the dance version, where she's being a detective and discovering that this guy cheated, going through all the receipts and stuff, full Columbo shit, pops the hell off.
Where's that show?
She would have been great.
Or movie. It would have been so good. When it comes to remixes too, with David Morales, did you hear Rainbow's End?
No.
Okay, so Mariah, for the 25th anniversary of Rainbow, re-released it. And what I love about Mariah, when she's re-releasing these albums for their anniversaries, she's giving you vault tracks, she's giving you new shit, or she's recording new things. And Rainbow's End, which was a interlude on the original album, is now a full-length dance track from David Morales, and it sounds great. There's a regular version and an extended version.
Ooh, no, I mean, that is fabulous. I also want to give props, in a way, to Jennifer Lopez, because she invented the idea that you could call a song a remix and it's just a lie and it's a totally new song altogether. It's called Ain't It Funny because Ain't It Funny I lied to your ass about this being a remix? Bitch, no, it's not. It's not the same song.
There is a difference from taking a remix and making it different enough so it sounds like a new song, and then, yeah, Ain't It Funny is a completely different song.
As in, people don't know the original song, which is a fine kind of like Spanish-tinged song.
Yeah.
And in the tradition of great J-Lo singles, I cannot hear her on the chorus, but the Ain't It Funny with Ja Rule is the one you hear, you know. I'm Real, the original, has more to do, has something in common with the I'm Real with Ja Rule, but Ain't It Funny is just a complete lie.
You know what? I will also, by the way, shout out the fact that the album that Ain't It Funny is on, self-titled, J-Lo, 2001, yes. That is a completely underrated J-Lo album. If we're talking about, you know, anything that's underrated, obviously it had Love Don't Cost a Thing on it and the original I'm Real, but yeah, I mean, people seem to forget about Play. Play came on maybe a year or so ago at a party and someone thought it was new.
Oh, that's unacceptable.
There's Walking on Sunshine. That's Not Me. Like, I'm gonna, you know, that's a pretty good album.
Yeah, I'm an On the Six devotee, but I do like the singles on J-Lo. Yes.
Yeah. Now, another remix that came out this week was a remix to Charli XCX's "Girl So Confusing," which invented the phrase "Let's work it out on the remix."
Which has already my entire Twitter feed. Like it's like the alpha and the omega of gay phrases right now.
You know how we are with a phrase,
right?
You know, once there's a quick thing that you can make several like Twitter memes about, or like use it as an Instagram caption, it's not going away.
No, if we can microwave and reheat a phrase and then use it to be a little bit sassy, you better believe we will.
So. This comes from, and I guess we can also get to the Brandy and Monica beef of it all too, because this was sort of serendipitous that these both dropped on the same day. The Charli and Lorde thing is basically that they've always been compared in their careers.
They have dark hair, yes.
They have dark hair, you know? And there's this interview, actually, I'm sure you've seen it before, where an interviewer tells Charli XCX like she loves her song Royals.
What the fuck?
Charli plays along with it and sings a bit of Royals. But it's from years ago. And since then, though, you know, Charli has just sort of always had this like insecurity in her brain about because Royals was so fucking huge, you know?
Right.
And just this real sort of insecurity about comparisons to Lorde. And then come to find out that Lorde had her own insecurities. You know, there's a line in the remix where, you know, she talks about her own insecurities and like, I don't have beef with you, diva. I'm mentally ill. Basically, you know, and basically it's just sort of like when I was 10, people told me I walk like a bitch, you know, like I have my own stuff going on. And apparently Charli just left her a voice note. And then Lorde woke up to it and was like, yeah, let's hop on this remix. And like, I think like fans of both women had been very excited to hear the song. And it's good. You know, they worked it out on the remix.
I would say it's the rare song that I would call like it's quality and adorable. Yeah. Like it's both like a bit lighthearted and I don't know, like not going for Grammys is the way I would describe it, and yet like it's fun to see them have this actual seem like real dialogue, this like Frost Nixon-y moment on this remix.
Yeah, it's that genre of music, and I'm sure you can think of other ones that are really just a song between two people wanting to be in conversation with one another. It's not really about, like you said, it's not about the Grammys, it's not about radio. It's like, let's just do some shit together in the studio.
Right. Yeah. And vault each other, like say that we're big fans of each other, and put this weird energy to rest otherwise. Yeah, no, it's successfully done. And also it's nice to hear Lorde play music that we're all playing again and again. It feels like that solar power just came and went,
Yeah, well, Jack Antonoff.
Oh, your enemy.
You know what? I hate to say this too. I hate you. You know how much I hate admitting when I'm wrong.
Sure.
Please, please, please.
It's a grower. I'm sorry. I knew this would happen to you. You were a fool.
Girl,
you were a
fucking
fool.
Bomb. You know how it happened too. I was in Fire Island, and of course, this is kind of I feel like where songs go to seep into your brain.
Oh,
Fire Island
right,
is.
exactly.
Because you're in a house with different people with different music tastes. You're all with like sort of the same music taste, but then there's different varying degrees, right? And when someone has the aux and it's constantly playing please, 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 and honestly, everyone has the aux these days now because Spotify lets you create jams.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So people are continuously adding songs together. Anyway, my friend Jordan kept playing please, 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 and then days later, I'm off the island being stalked by Jack Antonoff, by the way, because I went to the Kind of Kindness premiere.
Oh, of course.
Yorgos' new film, which I fucking loved. It's weird in the way that, like, Lobster is, but it's good. It's not commercial like Poor Things and The Favorite were, if you could call Poor Things commercial. But Jack Antonoff's at the movie, at the premiere, and I'm like, this man is stalking me. And then I go home, and I have Please, Please, Please stuck in my head, and it feels like some sort of conspiracy.
Yeah, that's way too much. I also just, like, sometimes I wonder, like, how many classic pop songs really are quote-unquote good, or just we've heard them so many times they become standard. This is just a song that's coming to mind. Losing My Religion is an unbelievably strange song to pick up culturally. Just like the chill guitar of it, like where it belongs in time, like that's happening alongside like grunge and stuff, Madonna, things like that. And yet, I don't know, over time, like the lyrics are unbelievably baffling. Like it's a song where people are still asking Michael Stipe what's it about, even though he has answered the question 10,000 times. That's one of my huge pet peeves, when people can't just listen to an answer that a celebrity gives. But but like we've heard that song a million times. It's a classic, and I do love it.
Yeah.
But it's also, how did that happen? I wonder about that sometimes.
You know what I was gonna say? There was this guy that I was into in LA years ago, and I was never really into like REM or the Smashing Pumpkins. And he got me into the Smashing Pumpkins by giving me a playlist. And he gave me an REM playlist, and I listened to it, and I was like, I hate Michael Stipe's voice.
Interesting.
I just can't listen to REM.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, there's nothing about it that sonically appeals to me, but I do like Losing My Religion and Shiny Happy People because I feel like I've heard those fucking songs so much.
Yeah. I do think he kind of, there's a bit of a whine in the voice, in the melancholy he's going for, which I could see going either way on. Before we wrap up this conversation, I just want to say, got to bring up Madonna remixes quickly. The William Orbit remix of Justify My Love turned a song that was my least favorite on the Immaculate Collection into one of my favorite Madonna songs. So if you don't know that, listen to that. It's a long, sexy, very erotic remix.
Oh,
yeah,
baby.
Yeah.
Madonna remixes? I mean, that's another bitch, okay? Listen to Junior's luscious remix of Secret.
Oh, Secret itself is, I mean, that should be just its own genre of music. Remixes of Secret. Bedtime Story is great remixes. Nothing Really Matters is a great one. So anyway,
speaking of, did you see this recent interview with Cardi B where she talked about how she's making her new album and etc. And she has to make hits for, the radio and to like continue her career or whatever. But she was like, bitch, you know what I would love to do? Just like make a Madonna like erotica album. Okay, that's what she loves listening to. It's like one of her favorite albums. I'm like, girl, just make that album.
We love it. Do it. Yes, right. Because also erotica, if you don't know the album really well, like it teases a raw sexuality, and there are songs that are like that, but it really is more of a sultry album. So it's about sex, but there's a come hither kind of cabaret quality to it that I think would really speak to Cardi B and would be it wouldn't even be a pivot. It would just be a fun new direction for her.
Also, like, Madonna's doing her usual quote unquote rapping over songs like this, right? Her speak singing. And to have an actual raptress, doing something like that would be great. Also, like, she could totally get Madonna to be on a remix with her. That'd be fucking great. Remix like a song honestly, redo like one of the most annoying songs on Erotica. Did You Do It?
Oh, that is an
But do it with
song.
Cardi B and Madonna.
That would be fun. Also, I mean, like,
you could save that song.
The last Madonna concert I saw, Cardi B was the voguing guest too, so they clearly are already familiar with each other. Anyway, great conversation. I enjoy remixes. Send us your favorites. I'm sure there's some we're forgetting.